Hi everyone, my name's Laura and I'm the Specky Seamstress and I am still here. I did accidentally take another year's break from YouTube. I'm so sorry. I had full intentions once I'd moved house and announced the pregnancy that I would be able to vlog semi-frequently. I put out my vlog about where I'd been and what I'd been up to, and then I put out my vlog about my Xanthia tea, which always makes me do this because of the cross seam in the middle. And I filmed another vlog immediately afterwards about my Yanta overalls, and I just couldn't get past the editing. I tried several times. I realised there was going to be some bits that I had to refilm, and there was a mental block that I could not get over, and I didn't. I then had a very intense spell at work before I went on maternity leave, and life with a newborn was not conducive to restarting vlogging. But I am here at my house with no other people in it for probably the first time in a year, at the very least 6 months, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity to come and say hello, to let you know what I've been doing for the last year, and hopefully to kickstart a bit of a routine about vlogging, and I'll talk a bit more about that at the end. I say that as if I have a plan for this vlog, and I would say that is not the case. My intention is to film this in one take and do very little editing, because it's intended to be a pretty informal catch-up. So bear with me if it's a touch rambly, although I think followers of this channel are kind of used to that by now. So what have I been doing for the last year? I've done quite a lot of sewing, and I have so much to update you on, and honestly that is a little overwhelming in itself, and I need to try and work out a format that I can share my makes, or at least the most important, impressive, worn makes, without doing kind of a big video for each pattern, because that would take me several years to catch you all up on, I think. So yes, we will work on that. I have had a baby, so I will pop in some pictures, but this is James, and he was born late September, and after a little stay in hospital, we have been at home as a family of three, absolutely loving life, working out our new routines, and I've been on maternity leave, doing as much crafting as I can, and yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I absolutely love being mummy. Obviously it's tiring. Need I say more? But it's been, yeah, an amazing experience, and the journey we had to get here was very hard, as you know if you watched my kind of update video last year, and yeah, we are delighted to be, just settled in as our little family. And yeah, I am returning to work quite soon, which I think maybe kind of counterintuitively might help me get back onto YouTube, because I'm actually going to have a bit more of a routine in the coming weeks, which will really help things, because I will be working from home on Fridays, and I think I might be able to use my lunchtime or my would have been commute time to film a vlog, even if it's kind of every other week or every few weeks, just to keep back at YouTube, because I do miss it. And I said that in my video when I kind of thought I was getting back into YouTube before, that yeah, I miss it. I really do. I loved filming my vlogs, and I loved interacting with everyone, and I don't post as much on Instagram as I used to, because I'm not making things quite as frequently as I was. So having a regular chat will be really nice, and I do see very much my channel still being very chatty. I don't see me bringing out any tutorials because that's just not my style, so we'll be quite chatty, and probably lots of works in progress or trying to plan things, because I'm a little bit struggling with my style, might be the right word but might be the wrong word, but I'm struggling a little bit with some of my stash and how to turn it into things that I want to wear now, because I think my style has naturally changed a little bit, And yeah, I'm just things that I've brought, I'm not necessarily feeling as in love with, but also I don't want to not, like, I do still love them. That doesn't make any sense, but that's kind of where we are. So that's obviously my big life update. Now I'm returning back to work. Things are going to change again, but yes, hopefully the little kind of display of pictures will be there. I'm not intending to talk loads and loads about James on here. There will naturally be some sewing for him, although there has been very little so far because he's just growing too quickly, and I'm not that bothered by sewing clothes for him, to be perfectly honest. I think everyone told me, oh, you're going to love sewing all of the little baby clothes for James, but honestly, my time sewing has been my like respite time, and I've wanted to sew things for myself, for my wardrobe, for my kind of changing wardrobe. So I haven't really sewn very much for him at all, and I'm totally okay with that. I don't think that as a mum who sews, you have to sew lots of things for your baby. I think I will sew more for him as he gets older. But one thing I am looking forward to sewing for him is a little backpack for him to take to nursery, because he'll be starting at nursery a couple of days next month. And that will be the first kind of thing I'll feel like might last longer than just 2 months, which feels worthwhile in terms of sewing time. But yes, so that's kind of James' update. He, yes, is wonderful, and we're very happy. Sewing update. Shall we do that last? Shall I talk a little bit about the Specky Seamstress business first? Because I don't think I really mentioned it when I did my last video, kind of updating everything, or I don't think I mentioned it very much, but we relaunched the business last April, so it's been just over a year since we relaunched the business, and having been shut for a year, and obviously it has been a whirlwind year actually. It's gone from being very small, it's still very small, very small business, to a really kind of stepped up a level, I think, in the last few months. We have been trying to go to a few more face-to-face events to sell to people in person, which has been wonderful, to kind of meet lots of people, to get the word out to people that don't know about us, and just kind of understand a little bit more about how we might expand the business a bit. So we are still selling beautiful bias binding in all kinds of wonderful designs on the SpeckySeamstress.com, and we have loads of new designs out. We have loads of designs waiting to go, which I need to manage the logistics for and work out how we're gonna print them. We are very close to working on double fold bias binding, which would be great for quilts or binding the inside of kind of jackets and things, unlined jackets. And then this year, or this like quarter, or almost this month, I think it was last month, we released 2 new lines of products as well, because we went to the Stitch Festival, which felt like a huge step up for this kind of tiny little business that I've been running with a friend. And yeah, we launched 2 new products at Stitch Festival. We launched woven labels, which I absolutely love. They have designs on from our bias binding, and they come in 2 different styles, kind of square and long, and they're all made from 100% recycled polyester threads, which was really important to us when we were trying to work out with a supplier kind of how we would manage woven labels. And it's been lovely seeing them pop up in people's makes. Yeah, they were quite tough logistically from our side. It was the first thing that we had really like sent out to a manufacturer, and yeah, I'm really pleased with how they've come out, and I'm looking forward to them just being out in the wild, so to speak. And we also launched fabric patches, which are they come in 2 sizes, and they're made from cotton canvas, and we kind of made them with coats and jackets in mind. You know, those big patches you get in ready to wear clothes, like coats. We thought they would be really cool to have for me maids. And again, a lot of the designs echo our bias binding and aren't really designed to necessarily all be put in together, but can be if you want. You can go all out in a theme. And I'm really enjoying putting them into makes. The smaller size still works really well in a dress. Like I put one in a dress that I'm going to wear back to work when I was sewing yesterday. But the larger sizes really will work really well for like coats, and I'm going to put one of the large sizes that says "This belongs to James" on James's backpack, and it has dinosaurs on, and I'm quite looking forward to those. And I think that they really are the things that once you start seeing people put them into things, you'll kind of realise how much you can use them for. The smaller ones go really well on in a small quilt block, for example, like a 4-inch quilt block, and I think the bigger ones will go really well as the kind of quilt label. Our hope and intention is that we might be able to launch fully custom patches fairly easily with people in the remainder of the year, and we're kind of taking a bit of a stepping stone into that at the minute. So yes, that is my short business update, a little bit of a pitch, I suppose, advert, but just to let you know where we're going, where we are with that. It's been an exciting time for the business and been really nice to still be able to do that while I've been on maternity leave. There are videos of me cutting bias binding ahead of the Stitch Festival, with James watching me, like tracking my movement across the mat with the rotary cutter. And he was very much part of that process. Lots and lots and lots of nursery rhymes were sung while cutting all of our bias binding designs, that's for sure. So that's life update and business update. Sewing update. I've sewn a lot in the last year, and I sewed a lot in the previous 5 months or whatever it was that I had a break from YouTube, and I just don't know how to update you all. I feel like it would be quite good for me to do a maternity sewing roundup, because I would be interested in watching that, like if it had existed beforehand, because I have picked up a few kind of tips and tricks. I also have been feeding James express breast milk, and so I've been using pumps, and I did some sewing specifically for pump access, which again might be useful and interesting to people, but also would like very much not be interesting to a lot of people, and I totally understand that. So I might do a bit of a maternity makes roundup as a kind of a little extra video that people can choose to watch or not. But it would be cool to share with you some of the things I've been making, because I've fallen in love with some patterns, and I am wearing the Ruby overalls by Helen's Closet at the minute, and I have about 5 pairs of these now, and I can see there being more in my future. I think they're going to be kind of my mum uniform because they're really comfy and really easy to wear, and I mean, do they need any more positives really? That's kind of a good enough reason. So I will definitely do a video about those and show you all of my versions of those. I have made a coat which I am in love with and I'm really proud of, and I think that deserves a video all by itself. And I will ping up a couple of pictures here, but I think it would be fun to go into more detail and talk about the pattern and the fabric and things for that. That's got some really special details on the inside, which I love. And I'd like to talk about that in a bit more detail. I have made several dresses, some of which are kind of pump access friendly and some of them are less pump access friendly. And I have also made a few, I've made 3 now, Faris jumpsuits with a slight hack from Jennifer Lauren Handmade, which are again just super comfortable and really easy to wear. And I'm really falling for the dungaree jumpsuit at the minute, and I've fallen out of love with some of my dresses. I think partly because it is just easier to pull on something that is trousers in the morning, and partly because I feel quite put together in it, in a way that I don't in my dresses right now. Partly because I'm struggling with tights in my postpartum body, And yes, I know about snag tights, and I have snag tights. I'm still struggling with tights, but it has not been warm enough to wear dresses without tights. And partly because during my maternity sewing, I obviously dropped the hemline on most of my makes, and my makes were a little bit longer. I wore some lovely dresses over the summer and really actually fell in love with wearing dresses over the summer with sandals. It was probably the first summer that I've really embraced not wearing tights. I've always felt very uncomfortable with bare legs, but it was 40 degrees and I was heavily pregnant in the summer in the UK last year, and I really kind of embraced that. And I don't feel like that right now, and I'm hoping that the spring summer transition will bring me a bit closer to that again, and I'll enjoy some dresses. And I'm currently sewing some dresses with a slightly longer hemline, because I think one of the reasons I am less comfortable right now is because a lot of my dresses are just above the knee, and I think that maybe the practicalities of motherhood plus my age being slightly higher just means I would like my hemline to be a little bit longer now. And I don't quite know what I'm going to do with the dresses that I have that I'm not really feeling in love with at the minute, whether they'll just go away in storage for a while, whether I'll see if there's someone I can pass them on to, or whether they'll just be retired to winter dresses when hopefully I am back in love with tights and can throw on a big jumper or cardigan with them. Because the other thing I have been doing in the kind of crafting field but not sewing has been I've been doing lots of yarn craft. So I started crocheting a long time ago when I was a kid, and hadn't crocheted garments for a really long time, or crocheted anything for a very long time, for several years, despite a very large yarn stash, obviously. And I decided during my maternity leave, like very early on, kind of when James was about a month old, that while I was pumping milk in the middle of the night, it would be really good for me to not be sitting scrolling on my phone and actually be doing something creative and kind of productive. I just felt like I needed to be doing something a bit more fun than scrolling on my phone, and I started crocheting. And I crocheted a cardigan, and then I basically picked up knitting again and have just been knitting non-stop. There's always a knitting on the go now, and I think I'll share a bit more about that on this channel as well, maybe in a different video, because some people are not going to be so interested in my knitting and crochet, but maybe in the same thing. I don't know yet. I'm still figuring this out, and who knows if I will disappear for another year again after this video, although fingers crossed not, and definitely not the intention, because yes, I've missed it. And actually I've quite enjoyed rambling into the void of my phone about an update for the last year. It's quite hard to summarise your year in a 20-minute video. But yes, so that's where I'm at, basically. I am back with a brain that is semi-functioning, that would like to engage in YouTube again. And yeah, I'd love to hear what you'd like to see from me, and what of my makes, like maybe if you follow me on Instagram and you've seen some of my makes or something that I've been talking about in stories, is there something you'd like me to kind of do in more detail, talk about in more detail? Because I think I've sort of forgotten how to do YouTube and I would like to learn again. Yeah, I think that's everything for now. I will probably be back soon with a video about my ruby overalls, and a video about my coat, and a video about my Farish jumpsuits. They are my 3 intended videos, and then I might do like a roundup of the things that I have sewn while I've been gone, and we'll see where we get to with that. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I hope to speak to you guys really soon. Bye!